personally own 139 original Season 1 scripts that all originated from Joseph Stefano's personal archives. Now, 139 is a lot. There's only 32 episodes, so there's a lot of duplicates. There's a few that have never been produced. He left abruptly at the end of Season 1, as you probably know. And there's many iterations. He was a perfectionist when it came to script writing, so it's always interesting for me to see what his writing style was. And tomorrow we have a real surprise because we have The Unknown that's being televised. And I didn't bring anything new or original for tonight's episode, but what I do have is all 5 of his original scripts from the Forms of Things Unknown. And I'll be glad to open these up and show them to you tomorrow, or when I'm selling books, stop by the table and feel free to take a look at them. These are the originals from 1963 from Daystar. I have the original stamps on the cover. So, for an anthology series that's 60 years old, what can I tell you that's new? I'm not going to tell you it stars Cliff Robertson. You probably know that. Some of you are here because of that. So there's a few things that are new I'd like to share with you. First of all, the original title was Stand By, and I took a copy of the cover. This was Leslie Stevens' pilot episode, first episode, which morphed into the Galaxy Beam. But the Galaxy Beam did not come about until after the pilot was aired to the executives and the series was approved. Stand By was the original name of the series. It wasn't The Outer Limits. It went from Stand By to Please Stand By. And here's a copy of the canons of The Outer Limits. Joseph Stefano is a pioneer in this area, is my understanding as well. I've not found any documentation of anyone else who had guidelines for writing for a series prior to 1963. And here's an original, well, it's a copy of his original cover. And it's dated. His very first script was The Feasibility Study, which was in March of '29. And that had the title Beyond Control, because the networks did not like Stand By. They were afraid people would turn the TV off if there was some emergency or their television shut off. They didn't like the script, so he rewrote it and called it The Luminoids. And on The Luminoids, for the first time, it had The Outer Limits. So I thought I'd share the history of the title for you with some original documentation. I also found one other item I thought would be interesting, and that is from Leon Shuklak, who was the associate producer and supervising producer. And this is dated May 2nd, 1963. It is addressed to Leslie Stevens and CC Joseph Stefano. And he opens up with, Dear Leslie, Dorothy Brown. Does anyone know who Dorothy Brown is? Dorothy Brown was the head of the censors at ABC. And boy, according to Joseph Stefano, he would get morning phone calls on a daily basis from Dorothy Brown. She had a lot to say about his scripts and a lot to say about the final production. That's a whole different subject in of itself. And Dorothy Brown is leaving for a month at the end of next week. She has asked me if we can set up a screening stop and go with her in order to finalize the modifications required for the pilot film. It just got approved. Please Stand By got approved as a series, but they had some modifications to make, and they list 13 modifications. It's just interesting reading. The only substantial change between this early draft by Leslie Stevens versus the revisions that Joseph Stefano wrote in the pilot episode was Leslie Stevens revealed that once the Galaxy Being made himself aware to the Earth people, they had no other choice but to come down and destroy the Earth. So Joseph Stefano said, that goes against my canons. I really want to restore the television viewer to where they were before it began and just terrorize them for 52 minutes. So that was his approach to that. That's the only major change in the script writing. The actual difference between the pilot, Stand By, or Please Stand By, sorry, it's Please Stand By. Stefano constantly reminded me of that. It's Please Stand By, the pilot. And the actual Galaxy Being was very, very minor after that final script revision. But thanks for coming. It's always nice to talk about Outer Limits. Please stop by. I have a table. I'll be there from 4 to 6 tomorrow. And say hello. And if you want to look at some original scripts, feel free to do so. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you.